Hey everyone, this is Hazardous Opinions, and I have Andy with me, my co host here, and this is his pick for a film, and it is Children of Men that was in 2007 and a very interesting sci fi film, and we're really excited to get into it.
Yeah, yeah, right at the beginning of 2007. This one's released in January, so it's a fitting pick, and it's cold and depressing, so perfect for the North Dakota winter season.
Yep, yeah, North Dakota. You can count on it to be cold and depressing.
Yeah,
For sure. So I'm totally with you, man.
yeah. So this one was directed by Alfonso Cuarón. Probably butchered that a little bit. Who did stuff, like Gravity, a couple other good films. And yeah, it stars Julianne Moore, briefly, Clive Owen, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Michael Caine in a role I would not normally expect him in.
Not at all. I once I saw him pop up, I'm like, oh, he's this character? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, this one's not currently streaming anywhere, but you can rent or buy it, unfortunately. But it's a good movie, worth your time for a quick Redbox rental or something if you could find it. And yeah, for those of you who haven't seen this movie in a while, it takes place in 2027, which scarily is coming up very quickly,
Yes.
only 3 years away. And yeah, no one's been able to conceive a child in this dystopian universe in over 18 years. So Theo, our main character, played by Clive Owen, agrees to help Julian, played by Julianne Moore, I like when they do that with characters, to transport a pregnant woman who they don't know how she got pregnant, but they're gonna take her to a sanctuary so they can have the child and study it a bit to try and save the human race. What do
Yeah.
you give this movie?
Oh, let's see. So I would probably give this a 7. Um just simply based on the fact that I was connected and drawn to most of it, and I was like in it, like quite a bit of good like action thrills throughout. Uh at some points I it kind of lost me a little bit where it was like a little slower, or maybe some of the characters I couldn't really connect to.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, just such an interesting premise to it, and like I give it a lot of points on that aspect. Um and honestly, like I was very surprised with like I knew quite a bit of the actors and actresses that were in here, but the main the main actor, Clive Owen, I have not seen him in anything else.
Yeah,
So it was kind of just a newcomer for me, and I had to get comfortable with him, you know?
which was a weird one because I'm like, I know this name very well, and then I looked through his stuff. I'm like, wait, I haven't seen him before.
Exactly, right? Yeah, like you've heard of the name, but have you seen what he's in, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but that's kind of my overall rating and explanation. What about you?
yeah. Just double check. This is the first movie I've seen him in. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but
same.
yeah, this one didn't really surprise me. It was highly rated, and I knew the premise, of course, going into it, and there was a few things in it that I really liked more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Um, Also, some slow parts, like you said, and some characters that don't develop as much as you hope. But I really enjoyed my time with this. I probably give it an 8.4. I was pretty sucked in.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty high rating.
Yesterday don't matter if it's gone. While the sun is bright, or in the darkest night, no one knows. She comes and goes. Goodbye.
I don't shy away from heavy movies like this, so I did appreciate the emotion and gravity of it, honestly, and just the wholeness of it. Just yeah, it seems like a very huge concept, like that kind of puts a jagged edge in kind of our everyday life, like producing offspring,
Yeah.
like it's just it's unfathomable. Ugh, kind of tripping over my words here.
Yeah. It's one of
Yeah,
those concepts that you don't even consider. You're like, oh yeah, moon crashing into the Earth. Cool. Yeah, that's unfortunate if that happened. But like,
right.
wait, we can't produce kids anymore? Huh.
Yeah,
So we're still alive, but we're like just being punished with this unfortunate case.
yeah, like what's the aftermath of that?
Yeah.
Like what happens? What do we do?
And they
Yeah.
do some expositional news reporting of like, oh, the UK is kind of like the last bastion of civilized humanity, or somewhat civilized.
Yes.
And just the rest of the world has just fallen into chaos. And yeah, huge talks on like immigration and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
That in the movie as well. And the movie sucked me right in, at least at the beginning, with little baby Diego dying. And it was one of
Yes.
those like newscast things that you're like, oh my god, like I like thought about this concept a lot before I watched the movie, but I didn't even
Mhm.
consider like there's a youngest person in this world.
Right,
Like
and
it's yeah,
it's kind of like a celebrity, Like I can't imagine how he was hailed like I feel like he was a celebrity for people.
it's yeah. I can't imagine that kind of lifestyle because it's kind of a mix of like, oh my god, you're the youngest person. That's really cool, but also you're a constant stark reminder of what we can no longer do.
Yeah, what happened, what the reality is of this world now. And it's really tragic that it was something as simple as a scuffle that he got killed in,
Yep, yep.
you know?
And then they just went right on, and they're like, the new youngest person is this girl who's like a month older than him.
Yeah, yeah. It's just nuts what is left, and uh, like you never think about that there's like an end point to the youngest. There's always babies being produced in
Yeah,
our world nowadays where it's like
it's constant.
that thing isn't obtainable. There's one youngest person. It's weird.
Yeah, like you will be the youngest for like a millisecond, if that. Because I mean, well,
Exactly.
just in the last 100 years, we went up a couple billion people.
Right. Yeah. And it's interesting how the UK is like one of the only countries left that is civilized. Like it's kind of funny if you think about it.
I wonder if there's a reason for that. Is I don't know if Children of Men's based off a book. I didn't look that far into it. If there's a reason they chose the UK, or maybe it's just like, oh, we want Clive Owen and Julianne Moore, and they're British, right? So
Is Julianne Moore British?
is she not? Oh no, she's American.
Okay, I thought so because I've never seen her in a British role.
But the rest of them are British, aren't they? Michael
Yes.
Caine is.
Yes, for sure. And Chitwell Okafor.
Is that how you say it? Okafor?
I think so. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that's how I've heard other people say it, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've heard him in other roles where he is British. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And obviously like Charlie Hunnam.
yep.
And yeah, what the hell? Charlie Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam he he really surprised me in this movie, like the dreads and stuff, like it's just crazy to me. I just never pictured him like that. And that part where he's running, is it Charlie Hunnam or is it Forrest Gump? You know?
Shirley, huh? Oh, yeah. Yep, I know what you mean. Oh, the
Yeah.
guy. Yep.
Yeah. When he's
Yeah, I
running
didn't
after the
even recognize
vehicle,
him in this.
dude, when he's running after the vehicle, is it like, run Forrest run? Like, oh my god, he surprised me. Usually he's that kind of just handsome, dashing dude. I
Yeah.
feel. I mean, I know he's a little rough and ragged in Sons of Anarchy, but yeah, just very different here.
Yeah. I liked for seeing Owen for the first time. I thought he was pretty good. I liked him.
I did
He
too.
gave me big Joel from Last of Us vibes. I think because of the concept,
Yes.
like trying to discreetly carry a girl to sanctuary, who's a miracle type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought he did really good, and they built up really well with like Michael Caine, his previous. Like I was kind of a rebellious person, and now I'm just like trying to live my life, what's left of it, and yeah. Um, Julianne Moore leaves this movie way too early.
She does, and I think that is the shocking, gripping thing. And that
Yeah,
is one of the parts I was talking about where like really grabbed me. I didn't expect it at all because she's a pretty big name, and I figured her character would go places in this movie, but wow, yeah, just taken off the board like real quick.
yeah.
And
She's a huge name, and I was like, okay, there's no way they're killing off Julianne Moore in this movie, right?
right.
And so it really does get you into the movie, into like a shit. I don't know who they're gonna kill next. Then
No, it gives stakes, which I really love in films. Like when somebody that you're not expecting to die dies. That
yeah,
it it's big gravity, and like kind of anything is up for grabs now.
I think the girl is the only one to not die, right? I think everyone else gets fucking killed in this.
Y- Um, the girl that's pregnant?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, huh?
Because Clive dies. Clive Owen dies at the end. Michael Caine, gets shot, and then
Spoilers, Andy. Jesus.
hey,
I'm just kidding. Yeah,
this is a
we're
spoiler
in the
cast.
spoiler. Yeah, we're getting into spoiler territory. We're okay.
And then Chiwetel gets blown the fuck up with the tanks, which is
Dude,
awesome. They don't
yeah.
really like show his death, but it's
No.
heavily implied.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much everybody that's a main figure in this movie is, yeah, like taken off the board too. It's kind of nuts how, everything it took to get her to where they needed to get her. It's very tragic.
Yeah, that. So that scene where we lose Julianne Moore as well, or Julian. See, I like that when they just like name their characters after the actor. Like it's so simple. It's
I
nice.
know. I know. I'm trying to think of another example. I think there was like a really previous one. Um God. Okay, no, I can't think of it right now. keep going.
Yeah. That whole car scene is so intense.
It
When
is.
you're like, okay, there's some people following them,
Yeah.
and then it starts getting into the shooting, and you're like, okay, cool, intense action, and she gets
Right.
shot, and you're like, what the fuck?
I know.
And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, he's gonna save her, and something's gonna happen, right? And nope, she's like, oh, she's fucking gone, and he fucking doors the biker dude.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Loved all that.
Yeah, when the bullets like fly through the windshield, I was like, "Oh no, they're directly where she is. There's no
Yeah,
way." Nah. I was like after right as soon as that happened, I was thinking, "Okay, maybe she's just injured very badly." and that they're going to have to carry on with her being injured throughout this journey.
Yep.
And then, yeah, she's just gone.
Yeah, and IMDb tricked me too because they usually order their actors by importance in the movie and stuff.
Sure.
She's right up with Clive Owen.
Of
And
course.
she's gone in the first like half hour of this movie.
Yeah, freaking IMDb just
Yeah.
trying to make a fool of us, right?
But you can't always trust it because then they also hide the girl. I think her name was Key.
Yes, Key.
Like
Yep.
way down in the credits.
Okay, that makes sense.
Can't always trust.
Also in the beginning of the movie, I really wasn't expecting the lightheartedness and the little comedy mixed in
Yeah.
already. Like, because going into it, I knew and I have heard that it is a heavy, big movie. And just, kind of, yeah, like I said, the lightness of it, I just wasn't expecting. Especially with Clive Owen talking to Michael Caine and their little back and forth.
Okay,
Michael
I
Caine.
never knew I needed Michael Caine as a stoner until now.
I did not either. Are you kidding me? He's a stoner. Like, usually he's this proper British man, but he's just a free-flying hippie in this.
Yeah,
It's
you always
insane.
see him with stuff like Alfred, like you want him in those type of roles, and
Exactly.
or like from Tenet. And yeah, it was great to see him in a different role.
Yes, yeah. It was really nice. And yeah. Clive Owen's character is named Theo. Is
Yep.
it right? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure. Yeah, I went with Clive Owen because I knew for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, just their back and forth and their friendship was just very nice to see right away. And dude, I was not expecting Clive Owen and Julianne Moore to be exes at all. I was like, what? Like
Yeah.
it made a lot more sense once it was revealed to me.
And I like they don't touch on his kid too much. I think it's only a brief mention, their previous kid that they had, but it sounded like they had it in the midst of the flu and stuff. So they were one of the people who had a miscarriage when the flu was wiping out all the fertility. And so he has this extra deep connection to making sure that Key gets to the sanctuary safely.
Right. Yeah, it sets up really good motivation, right?
Yeah. And another Joel connection, like Last of Us, even though this is way before, is Joel was a previous freedom fighter rebel in Last of Us.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
And then Clive Owen talks about it a bit in here. Theo, he's like, yeah, I stopped following you guys when you started just killing innocent people.
Right.
I like all that. It's like good. Like it wasn't just I didn't like my ex and she was one of the leaders, so I left.
Yes. Yep. Definitely. It made sense, and it gave you the backstory without being super preachy and a lot of explanation and exposition. So
Yeah.
that was nice to kind of just get filled in as we go.
I thought all the exposition in this movie was pretty realistic and nice.
It was. Yep. It was
like the
given
news-
to you very naturally and kind of in spoonfuls.
Like the baby Diego news story and stuff didn't feel like it was one of those news expedition crutches. It felt like a very real event that would happen in this world.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. And it's very sickening how every refugee coming into England for safety is like treated almost like, like Jews in the Holocaust. It's terrible. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. I was kind of wondering, like, would this happen if all these events happened in our real life?
It's hard to even say the amount of events that would come to lead to that. Like, it's insane to even think about. Like, think that the UK would be one of the last countries left on Earth that's not fallen to shambles.
Right.
I suppose eventually, like, all your leaders just die and there's no one to replace them because everyone's aging out, and I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was really interesting to see them treated so badly, and like they'd be a workforce like anyone else, so I didn't fully understand that. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's equally infertile and now useless in this world, really. So you'd think you'd want to take like anyone in you can to like fix things. But
Exactly.
I suppose it shows you how low the world is sank.
You're causing more damage like to the population, and yeah, it doesn't really make sense at all. And also when Theo was kidnapped right away by by Julianne Moore's soldiers like Chitwell Okafor, I
Yeah.
was very confused, and I was like, what is going on? Like, what's the importance of this man, right?
Yeah.
And like all of that to find out it's his ex-wife like grabbing him. Basically, I'm like, ah, man.
I like that she like helps him calm down right away. She's like, "Calm down. You're not in danger. It's just me."
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like, hey, yeah, it's just this face. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So I think this is right before the kidnapping, the store bombing, of that like cafe or whatever it was. That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That scene. I don't know. I think that like there was just no tenseness or like build up to it,
Right.
and it just happens, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Just boom.
And then while like the ringing is still going on in the background and stuff, then you get that nice little title card, just Children of Men. It goes away. Like, just a great opening to the movie. That whole new segment to the bombing and everything.
Yep, just diving right into it, and you're like, what is going on with this world? So you're more curious about the world and how it works and the intricacies of it. Yeah, I agree. Very good opening. And going back to Charlie Hunnam too, I just saw in my notes here, like,
Yeah.
I literally wrote down, what in the actual fuck is that, Charlie Hunnam, or did a more handsome man replace him years ago? What's up with the dreads? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I was just wowed by it. I'm like, I've seen him in so many things where he looks like himself. He looks so normal, and yeah, just very weird. I'm like, God, he's an aggressive fucker too. I'm gonna hate him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's on the wrong side.
Lo and behold, you do hate him.
Yep.
God,
I like
dang.
the you mentioned it, the humor in this movie
Yeah,
is very like subtle. I was trying to think of like good examples, and then that just popped in my head when they're taking him
Sure.
back to his place after the kidnapping, and is it Charlie Hunnam, I think, in there with him, in the back of the car and stuff, and they're returning him back to where they kidnapped him, and
yes,
he's like,
yeah.
"Damn, your breath stinks." And he's like, "No, it doesn't." He's like, "Yeah, it does."
Yeah, it was Charlie
Oh, yeah.
Hunnam. Yeah, right. He was so aggressive about it. It's like, dude, don't be so defensive. Maybe your breath does stink. Okay, like if you didn't brush your teeth, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Michael Caine's whole pull my finger bit throughout the movie.
Oh my God. Are we gonna really? Should we hold on for that scene or no?
Oh, you want to save it?
Yeah, let's save it. Let's kind of go through it like a little more, until we get around there, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I was gonna say, did you recognize Danny Houston or Huston, however you pronounce it? The actor, can't remember his name. The rich guy that
The cousin.
that Theo visits. Yep, and has that kid that's doing the computer stuff with his fingers.
Yeah, I didn't recognize either of them though. Where are they from?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to say Houston. Danny Houston, love that man. And I can't tell why he's not on the main stage more, but you've seen 30 Days of Night, right?
You say it was the dad, not the kid, right?
The dad.
Okay.
Yep.
I have. I really love that one.
Okay, he's the main vampire.
I can see it as soon as I pull up his page.
Yes,
See it in
and
his
dude,
face.
he is charming as hell, and he was amazing as the axe murderer of New Orleans in American Horror Story Coven that season. Have you seen that season?
Oh, I haven't seen American Horror Story.
Ah, damn it. Okay, God, for some reason I had a feeling that you like have seen American Horror Story.
I've seen maybe the hotel season, but it was a really long time ago.
Oh, okay. I've seen him here and there, and I just love him whenever he's on. And somehow in this movie, he looks way younger, even when he like looks a little older in The Aviator that came out 3 years before this. He was somebody advising Leonardo DiCaprio.
Jack Fry.
Jack Fry. There we go. Yeah. I remember him. He was given like financial advice to Leo's character, Howard Hughes, and everything. And I was so glad that he was a player in that movie. I'm like, thank you. You know, he just needs to be in more shit. But yeah, I was really excited once I saw him in this movie. And I don't think he's British. I don't believe he is.
Yeah, I don't know. I expected him to keep coming back later. I thought he'd be another like saving grace at some point or something like that. And
yeah, he was just in that scene, huh?
Just that one scene.
Yeah.
He's Italian.
He's Italian.
Yeah.
I wonder how he actually speaks, though, you know?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that whole scene too. It threw me off a little. I was like, I feel like there's more point to this whole scene, but I didn't. I don't know. He just went there for the favor, and there was no problems, and then he left. Like,
yeah.
maybe it's just a buildup of like, oh, maybe his cousin's gonna screw him, and
right,
child or something.
I was also wondering during that scene, like, why was there a rod in the leg of that statue of David? You know, that metal rod that he had in his place?
I don't remember that.
Oh shoot. Okay. I think it was because it was smashed up before they could retrieve it from where the actual statue of David is.
Oh,
because he was talking about like recovering.
Oh, he was like, "Why do you have all this art? It doesn't mean anything anymore."
Right, and you know, because those other countries were, you know, destroyed and stuff, it kind of makes sense that you're kind of like taking the stuff before the fire burns it all, you know?
Yeah.
Like in a building, like all these belongings and stuff, and he just took the statue of David. And I was just right away before he started going on about that, I was like, why is there a metal rod in the leg of it though? You know?
Yeah, but, like not like rebar, right?
No, I don't think so. It just looked like a regular like silver metal rod.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Probably someone shot it in there with an explosion, or I don't know, hit it.
Yeah, possibly, and just to keep it like stable, maybe.
Yeah. It's always the British collecting all the stuff from other cultures and stuff, you know?
Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah. Damn, Andy, you're taking shots right now.
Just saying, you know, world history.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, it happened. We can't deny it. And also, too, I was thinking this big point, like there's always cults or some religious group involved in these stories. And
there's like
I was
3 here.
Yeah. And I was like wondering why you think that is.
I don't know. Were they? Because Clive mentions at one point, he's like, "Yeah, I dated this one girl who's in this one cult and stuff, so she wasn't for me." And when he's talking to Michael Caine,
oh, the God, what did he call him?
He was like, there's some sort of like trying to pray to their Lord, saying like, "We're sorry."
Yes,
The
yeah, like Repenters, wasn't
Repentance,
it?
yeah, something
Or
like
something
that.
like that? Yeah. Well, also I'm just like wondering why you think these like cults or religious groups are involved in these type of stories all the time.
Uh,
Like The Leftovers, if you've ever seen that.
I think it's just a reflection of who we are. I, or I mean, we're always going to be clicky, and we're going to group up in our things that make us feel the best. And there's people that turn to religion in these dire scenarios, and some turn to influencing the chaos.
Right? Yeah. And
So
turn to somebody to lead them, right?
yeah, yeah, and some
Yeah.
people just want to belong somewhere, and it's like, oh, if our race isn't going to continue after another 60 years, like, what are we even doing as humanity?
Right. And
So yeah,
yeah, we can probably assume that it also could be that like cults and groups like that will always be around no matter what state the world is in. Just goes along with beliefs and following,
yep,
like we kind of talked about there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's always going to be leaders, and if people like a leader enough, they're going to follow him regardless of the message. So
Right? Yeah, definitely. It's just interesting to me. I just kind of sense that pattern, that these apocalyptic or just these kind of world situations, there's always those. And the Leftovers came to me immediately because there was a cult in there where people didn't talk at all. And yeah, I kind of forgot their purpose because it's been like a year since I watched that series. But yeah, it was just very interesting to me that there's just this cult that's going around, of course, and not with the regular populace.
have you seen the 4400? I think it was on Netflix. It's quite a few years old now at this point.
The 4400?
Yeah,
I
two,
haven't.
2004. It's kind of a similar thing as the Leftovers, where um, over the time of many many decades, 4,400 people disappeared, and then all of a sudden one day in the present, they just all appeared back,
Oh,
and
wow.
they just
Okay.
all like start to develop these powers. It's an interesting show that gets canceled too soon, but
So that does sound a lot like the Leftovers, like especially with, the people just disappearing,
yeah.
like just gone in a flash.
But I haven't seen Leftovers. I've just heard of it, so I'll have to check out that one.
I think you really should. It's a very complex but very well done series, and the performances just carry you through, and you're you're just wondering what's going to happen the whole time. It really like keeps you going even though some parts can be slow and such. Like it keeps you going, I would say. And that cult aspect that I was talking about is very interesting
Yeah,
because the main character that Justin Theroux plays, he his wife leaves him and his daughter to go join that cult. So there's already that kind of give and take there, that conflict
yeah,
already. So you're very interested in that too.
yeah. There's a lot of culty stuff in 4400. I think you'd like it, but if you do ever watch it, just hold out hopes that you're not going to ever get closure.
Damn it. I hate things like that where I don't get caught. Oh, man.
So yeah, if anyone does watch that, just don't go into it expecting an ending. It got cut short. So
Wonderful. Yeah. I've been through plenty of those. I mean, do you remember Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix?
no, but that's on my watch list. Did that
God
get cut short?
damn it. It got fucking canceled.
Oh, like,
Yeah. And there were viewers. I don't know what Netflix is doing.
oh, that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so frustrating. I'm like, come on. I was waiting for more of this. Thanks, Netflix, for just cutting me down.
Yep. Some shows just die out, and then you get, I don't know, other terrible shows that just keep going forever somehow.
Yeah, they want to collect more viewers by putting out this new stuff and discontinuing the original stuff. Come
Yep.
on.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Or you get stuff like the 100 or Walking Dead that were really good, and then it didn't stop. It just kept going.
Yeah, why are those a thing then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Damn it. I stopped on The Walking Dead like season 3.
Oh, yeah, you were way back then.
Way back.
I finished it. I'm all done with all 11 seasons, just because I wanted the
shit.
closure. But
Andy,
it's not worth
you're
it.
dedicated. That is
I stopped
dedication.
at like season 7, so I thought they were going to be done soon,
Oh, yeah. And then they weren't.
and then they kept releasing them. So I'm like, fine, I'll just finish off the show.
Okay,
But
yeah.
anyways, on Children of Men.
Yes, sorry for the tangent.
Also, interesting title because it's female infertility, right? Is what they talk about, or did they specify?
It's
Or is it
women.
just everyone?
Oh man, that's a good. I think it was women.
So I couldn't remember if they specified. They just said people like were having miscarriages, but they didn't say if it was one party or the other, or if it's everyone because it was a flu. If everyone's just infertile, but they could, or no, they could conceive at one point. They were just dying, and then they couldn't conceive at all.
Yeah. Then there was a point where there was just nothing. I want to say it was the women.
Okay, but yeah, interesting
wrong.
title name as well. Which is also why I was wondering if this one came from a book or something. It sounds like a book
Definitely.
title.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, like it kind of just reminds me of like, some of those classics like Lord of the Flies and books like that.
Just confirmed it is women that are infertile in this one, and it's based off a original novel by J.D. James or
Hey,
P.D. James.
Andy, you were on to something.
So
yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Interesting. Well, I should go read that now because I'm curious, like with the naming thing.
Yeah, like why it is
because women are infertile, so it's the children of men. I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
Anyways, so when we meet Sid, he is one of my favorite characters in this movie.
Sid is
Is the cop that Michael Caine introduces them to. He at first I'm like, okay, this is just a guy that knows Sid and he's gonna bring them to them because he was talking weird. And then at some point in the car, you just realize he talks in third person. And you're like, oh, that's Sid.
Yeah. Why does he always just say his Sid will do this? Like what? And that's an actor from Westworld. That's where I knew him from first.
Yeah.
And I love his accent also. But like I thought right away, Sid is a super chill dude. Like my God. Until he wasn't.
He was.
Fuck that guy now.
So
fuck that guy now.
So I have in my notes from those scenes, like I have this quote from him. He's like, "It's okay, just let me see you." When she's laying on the bed, he's like, "Jesus Christ!" And I'm like, "Okay, I love Sid. This guy's funny as hell." And then one line later in my notes, I'm like, "Oh, never mind. Sid's the bad guy."
Yeah, of course it turns out that way. Can't trust the fucker. Can't trust funny dudes, I guess. Yeah, God damn it.
Literally, like 2 or 3 scenes later, he just snaps and he's like, "I'm taking a baby." He's like, "This is gonna be worth money."
It was a real turn. Do you think it was natural for him to turn like that?
I think because of the portrayal of possible mental illness there, I believed it. I'm like, this guy maybe wouldn't have had the standard warning signs because he doesn't believe he's Sid. I don't know.
Okay.
Type of thing.
Okay. Sure.
So yeah, I kind of believed it with how wacky he was that he would turn on a dime like that. So I'm like, okay, I guess. But it was a little jarring.
It was to me, and like I understand, like not expected, and that's what kind of gets you, right? But he seemed so for the cause, and if he was friends with Michael Caine's character, what is his character's name again?
Michael Caine, he was just Jasper, I think.
Jasper, there we go. Okay, now I found it in my notes. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, like if he's friends with Jasper and Jasper's dealing him weed and stuff.
friends. He's just his pot dealer.
Okay, fair. But like, yeah, him
A fascist
smoking
bastard.
weed, you'd think you'd think he's much more chill, but he was just, God, what a fucker.
Yeah. Well, Kane's no longer able to deal in weed, so now he's no longer chill. Though they never told him, so
Yeah.
that was one thing that a lot of movies feel the need to always tell everyone everything sometimes.
Yep.
And so Clive was just very quiet. And he's like, yeah, he's good.
Yeah. God, and so sad. We'll get to that part because that is a big part for me and why I loved part of why I loved this movie.
So we'll skip past that for now. Then for the birthing scene,
yes,
I want to talk about this one a little bit. So they went off about all these things while they were at Julianne Moore's compound. They're like, we need medical professionals, or Theo was saying it at least, Clive Owen.
Yeah.
And he's like, we need to bring her to a hospital. And then he just delivers the baby on his own. I'm like, dude, we just needed you. That's all we needed.
Yeah, you were the one we needed. You were calling out for people and like what was needed, but yeah, he just stepped in. And I was gonna say a point too, like it didn't take long for Theo to be convinced to the cause and escort a girl he doesn't know.
Yeah, as soon as he's seen her in the barn, he's like, okay, I'm dedicating my life to this.
Yeah, and that was kind of a weird scene, wasn't it? With Key being surrounded by sheep or cows.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, not sheep, but yeah, it's kind of strange.
Trying to do some parallelism. I don't know, because they talked about like, oh, they cut the udders off the cows for some reason. I don't know where that conversation was going with them.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It's supposed to be some sort of reveal there.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't quite pick up on that. I'll be honest. Maybe I'm not intelligent enough. I don't know.
Least, well, I don't know what it really means. That's at least what I was getting it from it, because they showed her chest first when she's naked before they showed everything else.
Right.
So it's like, okay, they're comparing her to the cattle that they mutilate. I don't know where they were going with it.
Yeah, just strange scenery. I don't like that was kind of one of the qualms I had with this film. Like I don't know. I just didn't understand it really. Why it was revealed that way and why it was shot that way. I don't know. Oh, by the way, have you ever seen a dog race? I know there was a dog race in this film.
Dog race?
Yeah. Where like instead of horses,
like greyhounds.
Yeah, greyhound. Yeah.
Not in person. I've seen it in media before though.
Okay, I just thought that was really interesting. I'd like to go to one. No, that was just a random thought I had.
Yeah, I hope they treat them nice. I hear those races are notoriously brutal. I'm sure in Apocalypse it's not great.
Oh man. Okay, now you just made me feel shitty about it, Andy. But okay.
I'm not saying like, oh, I'm sure the professional ones are fine. I've just heard there's a lot of, like cockfighting and stuff like that.
Oh man, I can't imagine.
So
shit. Yeah.
No, but or whatever.
I would like to see one in person. Should we go? Should we go to one?
Yeah, I don't know if we have any derbies anywhere near us. I have to drive all the way down to the south, I guess.
Yeah, or maybe Minneapolis has, because I know they have Canterbury Lanes with horses. I've been to that twice now, and horse racing is really cool too.
Yeah.
Also, even about Julianne Moore and Theo's child dying, you get like very little hints that kind of like kept you going about them. Like just, very subtle. Like it wasn't just all laid out there, like what exactly happened, what their life was like with the child. It was baggage and kind of a burden on Theo's soul about his child that passed.
Yeah, they just didn't really want to talk about it.
No. No, yeah, and like I appreciated that it wasn't just all like laid out in one of like their arguments or something like that, because usually that happens in a plot, I feel.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm mad at you because you killed our child on this day because of
Y-
this reason. I don't know.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's just all laid out like as
It's
that bit of exposition.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was believable trauma in this. Like I don't know. Yeah, makes it seem like it's a hard topic for him.
Right. Yeah, and it just like you feel that right away because it isn't talked about, you know.
Yeah, I like that. And then I liked the. Do you want to talk about some more at the end? Well,
Yes.
with Key ended up naming the child after his kid.
Oh
Because
my
she's
God.
like, well, a girl can be a, was it Dylan? Something like that?
Yes.
A Dylan
Yep,
as
it
well?
was Dylan. Dude, stabbed me right in the heart.
Yeah.
That was sad. I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah.
And then losing him, yeah, that was sad, but it wasn't like, I like that they didn't put a huge amount of focus on it. It was just another death in her story to get to freedom. And like, it was really sad, but it wasn't the standard way of doing it. I don't know how to put that in words, but I liked it a lot, the way they did his death. Like
I did too.
he kind of just revealed it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to take a long time dying. It's just like, yeah, I got shot. Sorry, and then passes on some wisdom before he goes.
It was really back and forth for me because like I I was I was wondering if he would make it. You
Yeah,
know, and that's what I appreciated about that end scene in the boat where like he was shot, you couldn't really tell if it was a mortal wound or
hmm
not.
he's just
And
like,
then
she's like, oh, I'm bleeding. It's like, not your blood.
yeah, oh my God. And I I didn't think it was her right away, honestly. I immediately my heart dropped. I'm like, "Oh no.
Yeah,
It's Theo." Like, and it's just nice that it wasn't totally presented as he's dying. It was just like, "Oh, like can you make it just a little bit longer, you know, with her or until that like boat comes?" But no, it just so sad and like kind of a very like natural death and end scene where he just kind of like yeah just
yeah,
kind of slumps
so close to
like
freedom.
god dang dude that just ripped my heart out that was horrible.
Yeah, this scene or this whole movie gets you in the feels. Like
It
you don't
does.
really get attached enough to Julianne Moore, but like it puts you in the like, oh shit, this everything is dire.
Yeah.
Yeah, this this movie's sad.
Yes. uh and speaking of sad, the most sad that I got,
You ready to talk about it?
can we talk about Jasper?
It's
Can we
okay.
talk about
I'm over him. I'm ready.
get me through it, Andy.
Pull my finger.
Dude, that's what I loved about it. Like some levity in there,
Yeah.
but damn, no, it still leaves me on that like fuck you note. Basically, like you care about Jasper? All right, watch him die.
Dude, I thought they killed him with the first shot. They shot him like 3 times.
Dude, he was fucking suffering. I didn't they shoot him in the fucking hand where
Yeah.
he
I think
yeah,
they blew off his fingers first, and they shot him 2 more times before he like actually died.
those motherfuckers. And um I really thought when they get to Jasper's house, I thought he was dead already.
Yeah.
And that got me so bad, you know. And I really should have figured that like Theo would take them to him, like that was their next plan of action. I like should have known that, but I'm like, oh, we're back at Jasper's, and I can't see a mean bone in this man's body. And the also when they were at Jasper's house, the joke about Key being a virgin was actually pretty good. It could have fooled me when Key said, "Oh, I'm a virgin."
Yeah, she's like, it's a miracle birth. She's like, no,
Yeah.
I just don't know his name.
Yep, the Virgin Mary. Yeah.
That's also
um,
something I like too. There wasn't
yeah.
well, like liked and disliked. Maybe it would have taken too much emphasis off Key if there was a father, but I also like that it wasn't too heavily focused on both the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the dad was not a big deal.
yeah. It was just
Yep.
like, yeah, he was just some guy, but now she's pregnant. It doesn't really matter how it happened, but it's a miracle
No,
she's pregnant.
no, yeah, it just happened, and now she's in the situation she's in.
Yep.
Uh, and Jasper saying, okay, now getting back to Jasper's death. I just kind of wanted to cover like that little section
Yes.
there. But Jasper saying I love you to his wife as basically a last goodbye, then learning that she and the dog are both dead inside the house. Heartbreaking. Fucking shit. I was so pissed. And then I'm like, okay, kind of might see where this is going next. And I didn't want it to happen. I was pushing it off in my head. And to top it all off, like Jasper gets shot. We did not, as a whole world, we did not deserve that man.
I was not really the way he was going about it. He's like, I'll hold him off, type of thing. I'm like, okay, you're gonna go die, or are you gonna go out fighting? And he just went to go talk to him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're just gonna redirect him, and they start torturing him. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, yeah, because once they got to the place, they knew that they were there or in the vicinity. That's
Yeah.
that's what I figured, and that they wouldn't, like, kind of like what Theo was saying, like killing innocent people
Yeah,
and
which
stuff. Like, it kind of gives a hint to that already,
really showed you that that was not the group that she should be with if they're
No.
going to kill people when they didn't tell them information. So
Yeah, like they have their own agenda, and it was very nerve-wracking, and I hated it, but I liked it at the same time about Chitwell Okafor and Charlie Hunnam, their characters being bad and having their own agenda,
yeah.
I was like, please be on the side of good, because there's a lot of bad out there, but of course,
Yeah,
people
and
being people.
you're unsure for a while. Like they're at the farmhouse place, and you're like, okay, yeah, these guys have their other agenda, but it's just how they see protecting her better. They don't trust this other project, and then
Mhm.
you get the scene with Clive Owen discovering that they're gonna kill him, and you're like, well, shit, they
Oh,
are bad.
fuck. Yeah, I was like, oh no.
And the
And
whole really intense car startup scene. I
holy
like that
shit,
it didn't start up on the first time. I forgot about the scene, but
dude,
like they had to push it again.
that kept my hands digging into my legs. I did not like that. I was tense the whole damn time. I'm like, fucking car start, please. Oh man, I couldn't stand that. But it was good. It was a
Yeah,
good, thrilling moment,
there
and
might be
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
one of the best like car not starting thrilling moments I've seen.
right. It's not just like a turn of the key, like come on, come on.
Yep.
He got out and freaking pushed that car down the hill. The whole group was running behind him. I'm like, when are they going to catch up to this car? Like, please go, 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 go. Like.
And then it hits the tree, right? And then he has to like push it again or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Like something like that. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Whole scene, I'm like, fuck, they're gonna catch him.
I know. God damn. Yeah.
Unlike now after Julianne Moore's dead, like he's gonna die pushing the car away, and the other woman's gonna take the girl.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. And you know what? Oh, never mind. No, I was gonna say something. I'm totally wrong though. Never mind. Yeah. No, just skip over me. I'm
They
good.
do, uh, like I said before, they do a really good job making you very unsure about who's gonna die in this movie. Like, so we get near the end, the final like hurrah battle scenes in the city, and they capture Key again, and they're gonna put Clive and the other people that were helping him to death, and they're gonna shoot him there.
Yeah.
And they shoot the one guy right away as soon as they like pass around the corner. And I'm like, oh shit, could he actually die here? Like there usually is a lot of like hesitation, but he just walked
Yeah.
right up and shot him without even saying anything. And I'm like, oh shit, he's not monologuing, he's just killing people. And it was a very believable distraction when they finally get shot at, and then they get enough time to get away. And like, this didn't feel like one of those standard, like, I'm pointing the gun at your head for 10 seconds until I get distracted.
No, I agree. It was a very like realistic situation in like a time of war, kind of, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just like that very chaotic situation. And yeah, to add to the chaos around them, like Jesus, I didn't know who would make it out of that at all. I thought Theo would be dead, honestly,
Yeah.
and that Key would have to carry on by herself or something. Oh man, once they got him captured, I'm like, fuck, you know.
I kept waiting for him to get shot after he got away too. I'm like, he's dodging all these bullets, he's jumping around, and there's a fucking tank that comes around. I'm like, oh my god, they still have tanks. For some reason, I just thought like they wouldn't have modern gear with the world going to shit.
Yeah,
They bring a tank. The army still has equipment,
right, yeah.
and it's just fucking blowing holes in the buildings, and he's running around all this debris, and it's a really intense sequence.
It is. Yeah, that was one of the most like thrilling parts, and I like you know, throughout the movie there were a couple of those like Jasper dying and his ex-wife getting shot and pushing the car and everything. Though those were very good scenes to me. Just kind of some of the in between I didn't care as much for. And this whole ending just had me wrapped. Like I was like, all right, I'm like in it until this is done, you know. So that's nice that it has a very good ending for me.
Yeah.
And I can't believe Theo's journey from the beginning to helping Key give birth. He becomes so passionate and better because of this hope for this child.
To go back a little bit about one of those scenes that you mentioned, one of the in-between scenes, I do really enjoy the midwife discussion. I think it's after Jasper dies. It's one of those scenes where they're at one of the buildings and stuff, being harbored and stuff, and there's the girl. They help them get away from the farmhouse, and she's like talking about the midwife stuff, and it's just like, yeah, this people didn't know what to do after. It's like their whole job was kids, and then you just have people that are just like, what do you do now?
Right. No, yeah. I can understand why that scene kind of wrapped you up too, and you were into it. It's a good plot device and something to think about. Like,
Yeah.
you know, bringing up midwives, like, that's their whole job and duty, and like, what do you do from there now that that's not a thing?
Yeah, I think all those intermission scenes between the action and stuff do really good to build up the importance of this one girl, of Key. Of
Definitely.
like, well, if we lose her, well, what the fuck are we gonna do? Like, she's our one hope that we've had in 18 years.
You bring up a good point. That's good. Yeah, and I was so captured by the whole sequence of Theo going through the crowd of people with Key and the baby.
Yes, yeah.
Holy.
They start hearing the baby crying, and all the people in the hallway just watch them as they walk by, and then the soldiers, when they cease fire, and then they're just like, that's a fucking kid.
Yeah.
And then like they get far enough away from the combat, or not even that far, and everyone starts shooting again. I'm like, oh, I actually didn't expect that.
I didn't either.
I thought everyone would stop once they realized that, oh, things could be good again. And then they just start shooting.
It's like, oh, carry on.
Like, they're like, I seen a kid today. That was the first time in 18 years. Weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just
continue
back
killing.
Yep. What's that Rick and Morty episode? Where that hitman, he's like, oh, I love killing.
Here I go killing again.
Here I go killing again. There we go. That reminds me of it.
That's exactly.
Yeah, and like honestly, man, do you think this one moment like this could change a big population of people with this, like with the ceasefire for a while towards the end?
I think Theo had the right idea with his he's like, we need to televise this, and everyone, of course, went against him. I'm
Yeah,
like, this would give, I mean, you'd hope it'd give the world hope,
yeah,
but then again, it also does shine a lot of spotlight on her. And Chiwetel also does bring up a good point about like they're going to experiment on her and stuff, and uh, the baby's going to be property of the government. And he's like, it's like, yeah, I mean, you're both right, which is unfortunate.
yeah. It's a sticky situation, right? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, it's hopefully this like we don't know much about this group, this children project thing, whatever it was, but hopefully they're good. They give you hope with the big ship coming at the end that they're doing something good.
Yes, yep. Like safe harbor for her
Yeah,
finally, and hopefully these people have the right intentions.
it's like you've seen the Resident Evil movies, Mia
I've
Jovovich.
I've seen a couple. Yeah.
It's the one where the ship comes in like that. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's like the fourth or fifth.
I did not. I
Okay.
didn't.
Yeah. Anyways, hope it doesn't turn out like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Those
okay.
who've
Okay,
seen it.
so bad.
Yeah.
All
Those
right.
movies aren't great,
I'll
but
take your word for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
I know
I recommend watching those.
some of it is kind of cheesy, like from what I have seen of those. But like the story is kind of interesting, and I liked when they were in Raccoon
Raccoon
City.
City, yeah, the first one.
Yeah, yeah, I liked that one at least. Like I thought that was kind of cool, like the whole setting of it and everything.
Yeah, I like the world so much, and I like zombies, of course. I think they're one of the most intriguing monsters.
Oh man, Andy,
Obviously,
we
the
could go
movie
back and
gets.
forth about that.
Yeah, I won't go too much into Resident Evil, but
No, you're good.
back on the before Chiwetel dies, um, I can't remember what it is. Oh yeah, he puts the girl. He grabs the girl and stuff, so he doesn't shoot him. And he's like, "Okay, you win." Like he starts firing back at the soldiers and stuff, and he lets them take him and take Key. And then as they start getting out in the hallway, you get the last tank explosion. They assume kills him, and then he's asking Key, he's like, "How is she?" In reference to the baby, and I'm like, "I think she's deaf now."
Oh, dude, yeah,
I
her
think
poor ears with all this gunfire and stuff. I was thinking that the whole time. Thank
I
you for
was,
bringing that up.
I was like, I mean, our hearing is already sensitive enough. It's just humans in
Yes.
general. I feel like a baby's is probably more so.
Oh, dude, probably. Yeah, no kidding. God, I can't imagine just taking a really newborn baby throughout like a war zone. What
Yeah.
is that like? What effect is that gonna have?
Oh, I do have a thought. I'm wondering now, is baby Dylan going to grow up to be fertile? That's a weird thought to say. But like,
Okay,
is
no,
she
I
gonna
get
be able to have
that.
kids now? That girl? Because I feel like they emphasize that. They're like, it's a girl. So
Yeah. Oh,
um,
dude,
like
you just
also
blew my
gonna
mind.
you're gonna run into some weird incest issue. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's enough existing people to make the population healthy, but like, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see or
You
to
just blew
think
my
about.
mind. Yeah, like it's enough that a baby finally came into the world, but is that child going to be able to bear more?
Yeah, because that child technically wouldn't have been infected with the flu thing yet.
Right, right. It should just keep continuing. I want to say.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, damn, dude. Yeah, you just brought up a really good question about the end.
yeah. You're gonna have a really old population, and then you're gonna have this like 40-year age gap between her line.
Yeah, yeah. You know, Andy, I'm going to blame you for me having lack of sleep tonight because I'm gonna be up fucking thinking about this.
Like, shit, we can rebuild the world, and you're just planning it all out.
Dude, yeah, like my mind's gonna bounce around to so many places now.
Yeah.
Like, oh dang, yeah, that's a very good question. I want to say that it's gonna keep continuing, and that like it was a huge piece of hope in the future.
Yeah. If only people stop killing each other enough for us to have a
Yeah,
few generations of babies.
here I go killing again.
Because if the youngest person, doing some math quick, if the youngest person was like 18 years and like 6 months,
Hmm.
weird thing to think about, but you probably couldn't wait till the baby was 18 if you want to restart the world. But like, even if you wait till like 16, the youngest people are going to be like 40.
Oh shit.
So even by the time you like jumpstart people again, I don't know, unless they can find something in her genes to make more people fertile again. But
Yeah, some genetic engineering.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. World might
Oh,
be fucked.
yep. Yeah, say goodbye to the world of children of men. Yeah. Sorry guys, you tried, but no, I'm just kidding.
Too little, too late.
And I feel like quite a few dystopian movies after this movie came out have tried to capture what this movie was. Do you agree?
I Yeah, I could see that. There's some movies I could think of, but I can't remember if they're older. I'm thinking of like The Road comes to mind.
I
Yeah,
have not seen that.
2009. That's like very similar moody to this from what I remember. Like it's very bleak.
Okay.
It's an apocalypse movie with Viggo Mortensen. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen that. So
Okay, you do recommend.
yeah,
All right. Okay. Yeah, I do like Vigo. Okay.
yeah, yeah. It's a post-apocalyptic world, and it's just a father and son traveling through it and trying to survive.
Oh, hell yeah. Father and son stories. Count
Yeah,
me in.
it's depressing. Depressing. So
Oh, great. Thanks. After this movie, Andy, you want to make me feel more depressed, huh?
yeah, maybe I should put that on the tracker one day.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
The title for this one shouldn't be Children of Men. It should be Do You Want to Feel Depressed?
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like people will be seeking out that podcast.
yeah. Theo's whole scene at the end was making me tear up.
Dude, I agree. It so tough, and like especially his character development throughout, like you're introduced to him as an alcoholic and that he doesn't really have allegiances, and you don't know what this guy's mindset is like at all. And then once you start getting into it and his mission to escort Key, it like he just takes it on full
Mhm.
headed, and you gotta respect him for that. And then it just all of that to go through all of that just to end up there, and just this little wound, he wasn't killed right away. It's just so sad.
Yeah,
I'm glad he got his last moments with Key and the baby. That's kind of a bright spot that you can think of if you're an optimist, which I like to think I am. But yeah, still depressed after it.
I I do. One of the, I guess, philosophical topics I always like to think about is the will to live and how much like it actually affects you physically. Because I wonder, like we talked about, like he died pretty quick. It wasn't long and drawn out, or at least he was probably suffering with it for a while, but didn't like show us and then live for a while.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder if like when he realized, he's like, oh shit, she's gonna be okay, and she's gonna name it after my kid. Like the world's gonna be fine. And he's like, okay, I can pass now. If he
That's
was accepting his time.
that's a way to look at it too. Like that he kind of served his purpose
Yeah,
for the betterment of the future of the world.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's such a heavy thing to think about. Yeah,
Yeah,
that I do like that aspect of philosophy too. I like to think about that. Yeah, and yeah, purpose, right?
purpose. Yeah, it drives us, and that's probably why this world went to shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Def-
like,
can't
I don't know.
disagree.
What would you do if you don't have kids? Like, what's the point if you know no one's going to talk about the things you did in your life?
Yeah, can't pass it on and pass it on and pass it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to tell you about another depressing movie that I think everyone should watch.
Oh, okay. Like things you're watching lately, huh?
Yeah. So I told you I had one in store. It's going to make make you sad. Um,
Give
you
it
might
to me.
you might have seen this one. It's called Whiplash from 2014.
I have not seen it. It's on my list, and I
It's
can't believe I haven't yet.
it's on Netflix. Checked it out.
Okay.
Um, it's got Miles Teller. The main character is Andrew, so it's weird to hear a character called Andrew Andy.
Oh, damn.
Because
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, that's me. Uh,
Yeah,
J.K.
totally.
Simmons, and they're pretty much the two main characters of this.
Hmm.
Damien Chazelle did this one, who did, of course, like La La Land and stuff like
And
that.
Babylon. Yeah.
Yep, it's good. It's very musically driven. It's about jazz, and Miles Teller is this really young, but really good drummer who's got a lot of skill. But J.K. Simmons is this orchestrator who, or composer, I'm not sure what the right word is. I'm not a music guy. And he pushes Miles Teller really hard throughout this movie and his band in general to be the best. And uh, yeah, it's a really hard movie to watch. Watching J.K. Simmons be like a legitimate asshole. So
Dude,
um,
that's all I've heard about it. Yeah.
it's really sad, and I really enjoyed the movie though. I was
Okay.
very tense throughout the last like 10 minutes of the movie, like very tense, and yeah, it's really good. I'd recommend it highly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I gotta say that I didn't know it was about jazz as a musical genre. So call me an old soul, but I love jazz, and now I'm even more excited to watch it. So no, very good recommendation. I've
Yeah,
heard so many good things about it, and I do like Nightcrawler we were just talking about in our last episode.
yeah,
Um, I love stories about obsession like that. And Zodiac is about the same thing. Funny that Jake Gyllenhaal is in both of those. But
yeah.
yeah, I
It's
love that.
is very much about obsession, both from J.K. Simmons to cultivate someone who's great, and for Miles Teller to be this young star that wants to be great. So
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Anything else you want to recommend?
No, I think that's the big one right now. I also did watch. I think we were chatting about this earlier. A Trip to the Moon, 1902
Yep.
movie. So yeah, you don't usually hear an '02 unless you're talking about 2002.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, we were just talking about a movie from 122 years ago now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, um, but I liked it. It's hand colored, I think, so it's not black and white.
Okay.
It's only like 17 minutes long, maybe a little bit less than that because the credits are long.
Okay.
It was good. I recommend it. It's on Max. Like it's just a quick watch for those film nerds out there.
Awesome.
Yeah. What have you
Okay.
been watching?
Um, I'll list one for sure. A new film that I just watched yesterday, or actually no, 2 days ago now. When Evil Lurks. It's a Shudder original, I believe, and it was a highly talked about horror film for this year. I don't know exactly when it came out. I want to say just like months ago. Um, and I believe it's a South American film, so it is a foreign language film, but very easy to follow along with for the captions or the subtitles. And wow, I have not seen a more messed up horror movie in a while. And it's got a very interesting concept in it that you don't hear of very often. They kind of got creative with uh like a spirit possession, basically. So it kind of just starts off with these two brothers living on their farmland, and they hear a couple of gunshots in the night, and they go and check it out, and there's a dead body. And I'm not going to spoil much, but as the story goes on, they find a family, a mother and a young son, and the older brother, he is I can't remember exactly what they called it. In Not infected, but like a rotten person.
Mm-hmm.
And
kind of like The Witch, or
no, I wouldn't say it's exactly like The Witch. But like this, like a spirit possesses someone, and there's a lot of rules that people know about, but a lot of people don't believe it. Like you can't shoot a person that's infected or anything like that.
okay,
Or be around them too long. And like the person that's infected, the older brother that's infected that they find, he's this pus-filled person. It's very gross, like when you see this part, but like just it doesn't look like he's doing well at all. But and like he kind of talks as himself, but also as the spirit, and it's just evil embodying a person, and it spreads if you do a certain thing to the body, like kill it with a gun or something like that, and then the next person. Yeah, I'd have to watch it again to fully grasp this concept. That's what I'm saying. It's a very complicated but very interesting concept, I feel.
Huh. I'll have to check this one out. It sounds right up my alley.
Oh, dude, you definitely should. Yep, I feel like it is.
Awesome. I'll add it to my list.
There you go. Do it. Of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. So yeah, we are watching your pick next time for our other movie here.
Hell yes, something very near and dear to my heart, and I can't wait for you to stomp on it.
Yeah, Spring.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah,
I
can't wait.
keep thinking there's more to the title. It's just Spring.
Just Spring. Yeah, one word. It's very simple, guys. Yeah.
2014. So looking forward to that one. To talking about that one, and yeah, if you guys want to reach out to us and recommend some more movies to make us sad and add to the winter depression, you can
please add to it.
Email us or message us at Hazardous Opinions Pod on any of our socials, or join our Discord in the description and chat with us. And always, we appreciate a rating or review on Spotify or Apple, whichever you're on. And just let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, give us opinions. Anything you got?
Yeah, we will see you guys in the spring.
Hey, get ready for spring. Thanks everybody for listening.
Turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream. It is not dying. It is not dying. Lay down all thoughts, surrender to the void. It is shining, it is shining, yet you may see